Last time we were out here harvesting, Bok Choy, Chinese broccoli were just coming into their own. A week and some days on, they haven't slowed down. There's more to gather. This time, I have a little bit of help. Welcome to PDX Garden Home. This driveway garden sits in the maritime climate of the Pacific Northwest. Today, Maddy and I have some greens that are fully ready for the plate, some basil seeds that are long overdue, and a few perennials that are somewhere in between their last home and their next. Which, if I'm being honest, is a bit how I feel about the garden as a whole. It never really stands still. So come along and let's garden. What kind of basket do you want for harvesting? Do you want this one?
Yeah. I'll wait till I get
There you go.
I can take a picture first.
There's your basket. Let Dad needs to get a basket too. Okay, we got our baskets. That's it. Let's go harvest some bok choys. We gotta harvest the whole thing. Just gotta pull the whole thing out of the ground there. Here, okay, it's ready for you. Harvest it and put it in the basket. There you go. Good job. That's a bok choy. Boom. You ready to do another one? Okay, go ahead. Good work. Whoa. This one's too small, but we want to get that one in the back there. If I cut it, can you put it in the basket for me again? Here. That one, can you put that one in the basket? Good job counting them. Thank you. A couple more here. How many bok choys did we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Did we have 9? We had 9? Wow.
We have 9 bok choy.
Yeah, that's a lot of bok choys, yeah. I've got one more for you here. Okay, put it in our basket. Okay, we'll have to come back and get that basket. So over here, we've got some more stuff. We've got flowering purple Choy Sum. Is this how Choy Sum is supposed to look? If you've grown it before, let me know. I've tried growing this in the past. My wife doesn't recognize it as Choy Sum. My wife is from, anyway, my wife doesn't recognize it as Choy Sum, so, but that's what the seed packet says it is. It says it's purple flowering Choy Sum. Got some Chinese broccoli hiding under the rhubarb here. I do have, asked me in the comments before about aphids. I do have some aphids that have attacked this one, sitting on this one leaf here. So I'll just tear that leaf off and throw it away. The rest of it is good, and I'm harvesting it anyway now, so that'll prevent the aphid attack. So why aphids come? It's hard to say. It may be that maybe this one is past due, but it's not. I mean, it hasn't flowered at the top. These would get white flowers when it's really totally past due, but so I'm not really sure why sometimes aphids will show up like that on one leaf. My theory has always been, well, it's attacking the weaker stuff, the stuff that's not particularly healthy. This otherwise actually looks pretty healthy. Aphids on here, looks like maybe some caterpillar damage. I've had some little teeny caterpillars. I did spray BT. I think these are the caterpillar eggs here, those orange things there, right? So that's the little white moth will lay that and then lay them on your brassicas. Why? Obviously, I can come along and just kill that now. If I can find little caterpillars, I'll kill them or just rub them off my plants. But otherwise, at scale, I can't get to all of them across all of the brassicas that I grow. So that's why I just generally would spray BT. I'm gonna come back and harvest some of this rhubarb. I just did it a couple weeks ago. Now it's all grown up again, so we'll harvest it again. And I can make like a rhubarb crisp or something tonight. That would be cool. Something easy. I mean, I don't want to make like a full-on that takes a lot of baking. Just something I can throw together is the idea. Let's see, what else do we have here? This one looks good. You want to put this one in the basket for Dad? Well, I'm gonna have to plant something else in here, aren't I? Is the last of the Chinese broccoli there. Look at all this good stuff. This is throwaway, and I call it good stuff because this goes in the compost and it would create good compost. And that's what is just killing me thinking about this, is that I don't have on-site composting. A viewer posted in one of the comments a question about how I'm maybe dealing with rats, and I think the unsaid piece in there is that the viewer, I think, was also in the Portland metro area, and in the Portland in particular city proper, it's pretty common and well known that we've got lots of rats in the urban areas, and you want to keep them, of course, out of your house and your yards and stuff as much as you can. And so the reality of, in this kind of small space, one of the things that I do to keep rats away is I don't compost on site. And I wish I had a bigger space and that I wasn't, and then I wouldn't be so worried about that. But yeah, there's no place I can put a compost bin here that wouldn't be too close to where I'm living for my comfort to be an attractant to potential rats. I guess, there's those composts that are sealed up and all that. Maybe I should look at something. I'm thinking in the more traditional way, like where you have like the 3 bin system and you kind of build it yourself, maybe from pallets and stuff like that. But I guess if I used a fancy composter, maybe that would be more secure from rats and something that I can more do in my small space and feel okay about it. So yeah, maybe I'll think about that point. But yeah, that's my story on compost and kind of the relation to the question that I got earlier. Well, I think I'm a little bit behind on planting my basil. It's definitely not behind on having it out. Week feels like you could put it out if you actually had basil ready, but I didn't predict that. And based on our normal kind of weather, it could have been another couple of weeks before basil would be ready to really be out. When I say I'm behind, I don't feel like I'm behind in putting it in the garden. I'm more behind in seeded, because whether it's now that it goes out or it's 2 or 3 weeks from now, I already have some seedlings, I think, of basil. So I'm probably, I would say, a couple weeks behind in getting the basil done. Now, basil's something that I can keep growing until we get to the rains. Grow heavily with the heat in July and August. So we'll catch up, no worries. It's just I won't have basil as early as I could have if I had gotten this seeded earlier, I think. My verdict is too late. It could have been done. I could have done this earlier, but it's still not too late to go ahead and plant some basil seeds. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out my seeds and see what I've got. Lots of different kinds of basil, and I'm talking about basil here because it's the primary herb that I'm planting as an annual this year, but I have some chamomile that I think I'll plant. So got some Thai basil, which is something I do enjoy growing and eating, so definitely going to plant that. Some lemon basil, which is lemony taste from the leaves, so that's something I would use more in like teas and things of that nature. Basil, I can't say that I actually enjoyed the flavor of this, but the fragrance I did like quite a bit, and it looks nice. This is a nice for a decorative, having kind of a red, this is red Reuben basil. This is another Thai basil. I'll just put it off to the side. I don't need more than one. This is the classic Genovese basil, so I'll do a bunch of this. And this is also the same thing. It says it's leaf, the same as Genovese basil. So I've got more basil seed than I could possibly use here, actually. As I know, with my size garden, I can't grow that many basil plants, so I'll need to. I will try to be more conservative here. So let's start this out. I'm gonna probably do a 6 cell of each of these, and then maybe 12 of these. Yeah, I might do more of that. Maybe I'll do 12 of the Thai basil, and then I'll do more like 4 of the Genovese basil. I'll just kind of do this whole tray. This is going to be a one tray operation, apparently. These are relatively small seeds, so I don't need big holes here. And these will actually go back in the garage under lights, even though it's warm out, just because I just know I can control it better. And they are going to really want the warmer, the and the warmer night. Okay, I'm going to start with the things I'm doing the least. I'll do a 6 cells of the 1/6 cell tray of the lemon basil. See what the seed looks like there. Couple seeds. All this basil seed and just 6 little plants. But that's the reality. So I was talking to a friend the other day. I need to do more seed sharing where I split my seed load with other people that maybe want similar things. We buy one packet and then share the seeds, because I am not using entire seed packets of things as much anymore. I used to actually do that, like plant a whole seed packet of some things. Probably not a lemon basil though. Okay. Red Reuben. The seeds look exactly the same. You wouldn't be able to tell them apart from the other basil. Well, I don't know, maybe you would be able to. I can't. I should say I can't tell them apart from the other basil. Putting 2 or 3 in each cell just because I have so many, and that gives me backup in case it doesn't germinate. And basil. Seeds look the same to me again. Well, I'm going to take a break from the basil and plant chamomile while we're here. Aids germination, so this one I'm not going to cover the seed. I'm just going to let it sit in a little bed here. Wow, there's a lot of that seed. Way more than I'll ever need here. And that's it. Okay, so now I'm going to plant more. So I think I'll do a lot more than I was thinking. I'll do 12 of the basil, and then I'll do the rest of this in these basil. So that's 3, 6, that'll be 24, no, 6 times, that'll be 36 potential basil plants. But I'm sure they won't all kind of survive my processes. The Thai basil. Okay, here's get a little bit of water. And that's that. Ready to go under the lights. All the basil with the one chamomile. I need to tie up this blackberry vine, or cane, as you may call it. It's falling over. Grab a stake and then grab a tall bamboo stake and then tie it up. I've got a delphinium here, so I'm going to be potting this one up next. Yeah, we're gonna make some room for it in here. So I've got a lot of perennials that I had from last year. This is an echinacea, for example. I also have daisies and Penstemons. And so I'm currently working on taking them out of these pots and putting them into bigger pots for the season. Here we go. Make space for this guy. It's good. All right, there we go. Echinacea down. I'm going to be shoveling some gravel today, and I want to put my truck here, well, actually kind of here, and my goal is to shovel the gravel, basically throw it from the back of my truck over the top of that wall to get into the back, because I'm trying to backfill back there. I need to put a backfill layer of gravel so that it sits above the drainage pipe that I have in there. And so fortunately my feet happen to be almost kind of 1 foot long, not quite, but almost. And so when I'm doing rough measurements, I can say, well, I know that from the back of my truck with the tailgate open to the cab is about 12 feet or about 12 paces. It's a rough measurement. If I needed an exact measurement, I wouldn't do that. I would use a tape measure, but for stuff like this, it's quite convenient. So I want the back of my tailgate to be about right here that I'm shoveling off from, maybe a little bit farther back here, maybe like right here. And so I'm just gonna pace 12 feet that way. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 12. Yeah, and that's convenient because that tells me, okay, what I want is I want my cab to be kind of aligned with this pot here when I place my truck here. So anyway, all of that is seems like maybe overdue, but it keeps me from parking, getting out, checking, parking again, back and forth. I've done that several times already. So I'm like, how can I do this a little more efficiently? Okay, well, progress on the retaining wall. At this point, I feel like my vision is becoming more obvious or self-evident, at least to me, which is good. My own vision should be obvious to me, but it wasn't, because I wasn't really starting with a blueprint. I had a rough idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't measure everything exactly and wasn't sure how exactly pieces of it were going to work out, but I'm starting to see it more clearly how this is going to work out. So here you can see I've got the two walls. The first wall has been built out, the second wall has been sketched out here. The base, the foundation's been built, but the height hasn't been determined. And one of the things I realized is I didn't know what the height would be. I know I've got to keep it under 4 feet, but I didn't know what the height ultimately would be until I figured out kind of what the next tier kind of looked like and kind of started sketching that out. And so that's kind of helping me figure it out, and I'll maybe explain why. But just so you understand where the vision is that between this first and second wall here, there will be a garden bed. So that'll, that's like 35, 40 feet of space there, that by 2 to 2.5 feet. So that's a pretty awesome amount of space there for my small garden. And then here, what I'm doing is I'm creating a path that will go all the way through here, and then it has to keep kind of going up, angling up, so that it can meet, if you can kind of see it all the way back there, it can meet the end of the sidewalk curb there, because basically I want, I imagine a future state where I can take a wheelbarrow from the beginning of my path all the way down this, all the way past the potting bench and out to the front yard. That's one of the kind of goals of this project. Not the exclusive goal, but one of the pieces of it. So that path will be about 3 feet wide is the idea, and I think that's going to leave me with a narrow space that starts here and then just gets wider and wider and wider as you go down here. And so on the left side of the path will be another garden bed. So I'll have a secondary garden bed, and that one will be even longer. I mean, that one will be, well, no, let me take that back, because of where it's starting here. It might ultimately be a little bit wider, but it will be about the same length. So, we're another 35 to 40 feet there. And then backing up here again, I'm trying to preserve these espalier trees that I planted like 15 years ago. I will be building the third tier wall that will kind of support that level, and that'll be a very thin garden bed, 1.5 feet or so, that is designed to hold those trees and maybe some fun stuff underneath it. So that's the vision as it stands today. It might change as I'm working along here, but that is where this project is at so far. Well, the veggies are on their way to the kitchen. The basil is just getting started under the lights, and the Delphiniums and Penstemons, they'll settle in somewhere. That's all just part of the process, giving yourself time to decide. It's a bit of an overlap, really, harvesting what's ready, starting what's next, and holding a few things in between. If you enjoy spending time out here with us, subscribe to follow along as the season unfolds. Thanks for gardening with me, and I'll see you in the next one.